for some whispering, because there is a story, and also I'll give you a quick sneak peek. There are all these different tabs and pages, and they are in half, or well, actually in thirds, I should say. So I think it will make some interesting sounds and visuals. So, a little backstory. I bought this book years and years and years ago. I think maybe even as a student or soon thereafter. So I think over 10 years ago, maybe around the same time that I started this YouTube channel. And I bought it because I was stuck and I was not going anywhere. And the thing is, it is written by, or well, created by Michael Bungay Stanier. And he is a person he had a blog about how to create your life in such a way that, well, you would get unstuck basically. He was writing about getting stuff done. I even think he had a website called Getting Things Done, or getting something like that. And I really liked him. I thought he was kind and smart, well, like wise, and I really digged his advice. And then in the years after, well, I got unstuck a little bit. So I was just working and I kind of forgot about him. Not really, but I was just not reading blogs in general as much anymore and not focusing on getting new advice. And now just recently, as I've explained in several videos, I've quit my job and I've started a business. And part of this business is me giving financial advice, in particular about how to pay off your student loans as quickly as you can, or at least in a pace that you're happy with. Something that I'm doing myself as well. And I am not a coach. I am becoming a coach, but that's something that I have to learn. And what happened? I'm just kind of tapping. I'm never really like deliberately tapping because I do not enjoy that, but some accidental tapping might be nice, I think, for ASMR purposes, and I just noticed that I was accidentally tapping. Anyway, I came across a video that I liked very much about how to be a good coach, and that was a video by Michael Bungay Stanier, the same guy. And as it turned out, he has changed his business, or he started a new one, I do not know, but he developed himself, obviously. And once again, I find myself in a position of really liking his advice, and where the advice he is giving once again is very helpful to me at where I am in my life right now. So I thought that was nice. It was like meeting an old friend, which obviously is kind of strange maybe, but I don't know. I think obviously I do not know him. I only know him from some videos and his work. I've never met him, I've never spoken to him, but I feel like we could be friends, if I would know him in real life. I don't know, I like the guy and I like his advice. So I figured that would be a good reason to create this ASMR video, because seeing that video and seeing him again reminded me of this book that I bought all those years ago, and that made me smile because, first of all, I'm not stuck anymore, and I've not been for a while, and that realization made me happy. You know how something can be good, but you do not think about it on a regular basis, so it's good that it's good, but you're not really happy about it because it's just the way things are. And then something like this can remind you like, hey, but I used to feel very, very much stuck. Well, that is nice that I do not feel stuck anymore. So, yeah, here we are. And do you see all these colors over here? I remember one of his companies, or his company back then, I don't know, was called Box of Crayons. And that was also like a logo with all these colored dots is this ring over here. And let me show you the side. Get unstuck and get going. And let's see. Feeling stuck, here are 125,000 ways to get going on the stuff that matters. Well, that is a lot of ways, right? So, yeah, this is about creating an action plan, overcome roadblocks, move to action, get things going. And Seth Godin, the blogger, wrote, "The only reason not to buy and use this book is because you like being stuck." Okay, that's good. So, yeah. Oh yeah, here it says Michael Bungay Stanier is the founder of Box of Crayons, a Toronto-based firm that works with individuals, teams and organizations around the world to help them get unstuck and discover what's possible. So yeah, oh here the website says getunstuckandgetgoing.com, but yeah, maybe that was his blog. I'm not really sure exactly anymore. If you Google his name, you will find a lot about him. Also like videos and podcasts and stuff. I'll link the video below and up here. You know, the video that I was talking about that helped me about coaching. So apparently there is something here. Let me see. Here you see the ring. It is brown, almost like a golden color. And then over here there is a CD or DVD that I've obviously never used. This is him. It's actually what he looks like. And I don't know what this is, the little green book. By the looks of it, I've never used this either. What's this book about? What is stuck? How do I know when I'm stuck? Oh yeah, this reminds me, he also had this website where there would be like a stack of cards and you would sort them like being true or not true or something like that, and then there would be advice. That was also very much useful to me. So here it says, it starts with focus, then tap into creativity and wisdom, and finally move to action. Powerful. The probability of completing a goal. Okay, if you hear an idea, then it is 10%. If you decide when you will do it, so basically like planning, 40%. Plan how you will do it, 50%. Commit to someone else, you will do it, 65. Have a specific accountability appointment with the person you've committed to, 95%. Okay. So basically what you do, you open up the book and then you randomly flip the pages. And yeah, let's just go for it and see what happens. So I'm gonna put this back in here. It fits really well. It feels like this is all very sturdy. I like that a lot. So here we are. So I'll just open up. Oh, I like this squeaky sound. Oh yeah, that's good for ASMR, at least. That's good for my ASMR. Of course, ASMR is pretty personal. So what you actually do, you make sure that you have a challenge in mind. And then you flip to get new thoughts and ideas. That is if you want to get unstuck. You can also look for inspiration and then you just browse through the flips. So, what is this? Some people telling about the book. A lot of people. Hey, ABN AMRO, that's a Dutch bank. Well, at least I think it's Dutch. Yeah, it's definitely Dutch. I think AMRO is from Amsterdam, Rotterdam. So, here we are. is his wife, and I remember him saying once that I don't know which of the two was his first last name, but that he got the second last name from his wife when they got married. I like that. So, how to use, there is some explanation. What is this? An action acceleration. Well, we're not gonna do that, we're just gonna look at these. So we have inspiring stories, provocative quotes, and powerful models. And now the thing that, you know, the book, the back of the book mentioned about the 125,000 possibilities. That is clearly because you pick one of these, and then one of these, and then there are many combinations. So that's how it works. So basically, now first let me think about a topic. Well, the topic that I am thinking about right now, I've mentioned that in the Dutch video that I uploaded last night, but also recently more often, is how to plan my time. I'm intrigued by time and time management, and especially now as a business person, there's a lot of freedom, which is awesome. And it's also strange, and it's also somewhat difficult, because you somehow have to find a way. Well, I want to find a way. I don't like to say that you have to, or that I have to, but I want to find a way where I am working hard and focused and in a flow for not too many hours. So I want to try to get the best of both worlds. Working hard, getting in a flow, getting in the zone, enjoying my work, but still not being overworked, not being at risk of burnt out. So I'm experimenting. So that's my challenge. How can I make sure that I have enough time to work? I do not feel like I'm behind or overwhelmed. Still I get a lot done, and still I have a lot of freedom. So I'm just gonna open up one page, I don't know, this one. So this is an inspiring story, and it says, in 1989, a column of tanks rolled into Tiananmen Square in China to disperse student protesters. A lone student stopped them simply by standing in front of the lead tank. It became one of the most famous images of the 20th century. What would you do if you were fully committed? Oh wow, this is like intense, because I think I remember that picture. I know that picture, that image. But it feels like that was such a huge moment in history, and such a brave thing to do, that me thinking about time management kind of, you know, that's kind of like a different thing. I do not want to compare myself with that. However, let's not get stuck. Let's try and think, because obviously this card is not here to get me stuck. It's here to show me something. So let's focus on that. And I think it's here to show me that if a person is committed, one person can do a lot. One person has a lot of power. Like here, one person could stop an army of tanks. So if I would fully commit, then I would do what it takes, I think. Meaning that I have this hunch that what will work for me is to firstly think really hard about what I want to do and what I want to accomplish. Then make a planning that is reasonable and with enough time. And then, and this is the most difficult thing for me, sit down and actually do it. Not procrastinate. Not wait for inspiration. Not listen to the feeling that I'm not really feeling it and wanted to do it. No. Remember, I do not have to work for 12 hours a day. I do not even have to work for 8 hours a day. I 6 hours a day, and in those hours I would actually do what I've planned before, the stuff that's going to move the needle forward, then I could do a lot. I'm sure of that. And the biggest risk is me not feeling like it. So if I would fully commit, I would do just that. And maybe it should be 8 hours a week. Oh no, a day. I don't know yet. Maybe for 6 it's easier to start. But that is what I should do. Maybe 6 hours of like real work and then 2 hours of YouTube a day, because I am enjoying these ASMR videos and I could do that afterwards, because I feel like I'm usually in the mood to create ASMR videos, except when I'm like really stressed out. That's just not an ASMR kind of mood. So yes, I would make a planning. I would plan my day and I would stick to it. I would do it. And if I would feel tired or not in the mood, I would just get myself a big cup of coffee and go do it anyway. And I do not have to do that for hours and hours on end, 6 hours a day, and see what happens. And I think miracles will happen. Alright, then we're gonna go to the second part, which is provocative quotes. And I feel like I'm gonna do this. This also says possibility. I'm not sure. Does it always say possibility? Like everywhere, always? Yeah, that might be the case. Okay. Without deviation, progress is not possible. Frank Zappa, musician. Okay, let's think about that. If you never deviate, you'll only do what has been done, so there's no progress. Yes, that absolutely makes sense. So I have to deviate. So I should not listen to my own planning. See how easy it is to sabotage yourself. I'm laughing now. No. I haven't read the second sentence yet. Let me first think about it. The thing is, I should deviate from what other people are doing and from what I myself kind of automatically think that is right. For example, I feel like I should work hard 12 hours a day. I can deviate from that. I can also deviate from the idea that I have to work 8 hours a day. It feels kind of like that is the minimum. But why? Maybe for me it works for 6 hours and then just ASMR afterwards. Maybe that works. I'm free to try. I can deviate from the plan. I can basically, yeah. And I like to experiment. So, and I should also not rule out the possibility that on some days I enjoy working for 10 hours in a row or 12 hours in a row, because sometimes I get in this flow and the only thing I want to do is work. And I think I should not necessarily stop myself all the time just because the 6 or 8 hours are past. I should just make sure that this does not go on for days in a row, and because these are the days where I tend to forget about self-care, and I do not mind working obsessively in a flow for a weekend or a couple of days. However, I do not like to do that for 2 weeks, because then I just feel unhealthy and weak and lazy, and I don't know, that just does not work for me. However, now that I am a mom and a single mom at that, working in a flow for hours and hours on end is a lot harder, no matter what, because my son obviously needs me. So it's only sometimes during the night that he's asleep that I can work from some more hours in a row. But like the whole weekend working, that's just never happening anymore. And well, I do sometimes miss that, but honestly, that's a small price to pay. So I do not have to be afraid for that, I think. But yeah, the lesson is experiment, try strange things, whatever it is, and do not do things just because everybody does them all the time, because indeed, then you'll never have progress. So, what's the deviant thing to do? What's the weird and unexpected thing to do? Yeah, and that might be working 6 hours a day and realizing that might even mean more money and more profits and a better life than working 8 hours. And I'm not saying this is true, I'm just starting out as a business person. I'm just looking at my energy and even when I worked at the newspaper, there were those days that I was just basically tired and I knew I had a shift of 8 hours and I would feel a little bit slow and lazy the whole day. And I knew I had to be there for 8 hours, so I would just take it easy and get another coffee and talk at a coffee machine with someone. And if I would have the chance to work for 4 or 6 hours a day, but then I would have to focus, and then I would get 2 hours off, I can clearly see that on some days that would have meant me getting into a focus even though I was tired and getting way more done in those 6 hours compared to just knowing that I had to be there for 8 hours, like in a, I can't choose, I have just no freedom, that's just what I have to do, and the whole day is kind of sluggish, or I am sluggish the whole day. So I'm going to try strange things in time management, and I should remember it's an experiment, so if it doesn't work, I'm not going to work for 2 hours a day for 2 years only to realize that that's too little. Clearly I need to make money. Okay, then the powerful models one. We're gonna go, let's see. Nothing speaks out to me. Okay, this one. I'm gonna read it to you first. Everyone has a confirmation bias. People choose to notice or recall information that supports the actions or decisions they have already taken. You'll find the proof for whatever it is that you're trying to prove, and you won't see evidence that argues against it. Yeah, this is not new information to me, but it is hard to remember sometimes. When I was working at a investigative journalist, we would actively try to prevent this from happening by playing devil's advocate, and we could also do that ourselves. Once that we had a hypothesis and we were trying to prove it, we would actually also do the reverse. We would try to unprove it or to prove the opposite, just so that we could try to see if we were ignoring stuff. If you have a gut feeling like it might be this way, then indeed things that look like it supports that hypothesis, you just want that, you're happy, you're like yes, I knew it. So we would try to disprove our own theories, and then also you yourself can only do that to a certain extent, I think. So it would also be really important to have a good editor who would do this even more, who would just read the piece or follow the thought process during, even as especially as an investigative journalist. Sometimes you would work on a piece, an article for weeks on end. So the person would talk to you and let you explain what you're doing and what you're thinking, and the person would just do their very best to prove you wrong and be like a pain in the ass and asking all the hard questions. And sometimes it would really be frustrating because you thought you had it all figured out, and then there were these questions and you couldn't really answer them, or you didn't really know, or you just had a good feeling and you knew like, damn, okay, I should dive in and make sure that I find more information, or that and still I think it's hard sometimes to do. So there's 2 more sentences. No, 3 actually. What are you trying to prove? What evidence are you collecting to prove it? What evidence are you not seeing? So yeah, the last question is kind of hard to answer, because obviously if you don't see it, you don't know. But I think it is good to realize that there is always stuff that you do not know and do not see, and that doesn't mean that it isn't there. So let's see, what can we make of this? These are 3 different cards that, they all make sense to me. Let's see if I can combine them in some way or the other. If I am fully committed, I'm gonna create a myself, and I'm gonna follow through. I'm not gonna give myself the freedom to watch Netflix because I feel like it. I mean, I am going to plan for myself enough time to do stuff like that, so that I don't have the urge to do it during my working hours, I hope. But when the urge comes up, and it will, I mean, it's not if, it's when. If it comes up during those working hours, I am gonna notice it, feel it, and ignore it. That's me being fully committed. Then the deviant thing to do, that is to experiment and to experiment strange things like working less, or sometimes working more, or what else can I find? I basically just experiment with strange things. Working early, working late. I don't know. Exercising 3 times a day for 5 minutes. I don't know. I'm just mentioning something. And also, what is kind of weird and unexpected is, maybe not, but to me, trust my intuition. Sometimes I have this feeling, and then it's like, but nobody is doing that. Experiment. Just experiment. Okay, and then the confirmation bias. That does make sense, but let's see. Can I use that in this context? I am going with experimenting for the second one. So I think to a certain degree that already helps with the confirmation bias, because if the experiment doesn't go as planned, I will need to look into it and see what is going on. So that might be just a good, might be good to think about this, that this is something that's going on. So I think this is the thing that I've learned today, and I feel like I can just simply reuse this book completely, because I've used it before. I mean, I haven't 100 times used it, but I do remember using it quite a lot, or at least on several occasions where it made a difference. But I've forgotten about, all the quotes, I think, so I'm just gonna put them all back. And now I think there are a different number of cards. No, that's not true. Okay, then here it says still stuck. And I kind of like that, because sometimes, when you have the answer and then it's not working and you can feel kind of lost. And what does it say? Are you trying to boil the ocean? Okay, sometimes what you want is too big. Reduce it. That makes sense. 2, is this really what you want to be working on? Or is it what you think you should be working on? Yeah. That's a good one. And then play with the language you're using, sometimes by using a similar but different word. Can get you more exciting and committed. Oh, I need an example for that maybe, but okay. Still stuck. See, I love this guy. Buy a copy of this book and give it to a friend as a gift. Keep each other accountable. I see what you're doing there, business person. There's a community. And there are coaches. Okay, want to stay in touch. Okay. The newsletter. I got his newsletter, but I don't think I get it anymore. I'm not sure. But like I said, I think at least one of his previous websites is no longer up and running, but I'm not completely sure. So, guys, this is the book. I'm gonna put the pages back where they belong. It's kind of hard to easily close the book because there's all these different piles of pages. It's interesting, I think. It's an interesting concept. I've never seen a book like this, and it's very simple. And also, I mean, I've no idea if I'm pretty sure I haven't read all the cards, but it's kind of hard to know when you've read all the cards, unless you really start reading them, I don't know, left to right or bottom to, I don't know how you would do it, but I've never done that myself, although I'm sure it would be interesting still. You could do like a page, like 3 a day or something, you know, like just a way to start your day or end your day. Maybe start your day so you get some new inspiration. Anyway, this is it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope this book helped you too, in a way. I think it's very inspirational. I can't really speak. I think it's inspirational. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, and I'll speak to you soon.